Hi there, I'm Tomo Bystad, the head of product creation for Metalwoods here at TaylorMade. Today I'm here to talk to you guys through about the new SIM2 line of Metalwoods, specifically starting with the driver. Now the driver is obviously called SIM2. It's based on the shape and motion technology that we saw in 2020. And so before we go into the specifics of this driver, let me talk you through what the shape and motion technology is really all about. Basically what we're doing is we're creating a super aerodynamic head, obviously raising the crown, creating a low inertia generator feature on the sole here to position all that weight really low to the ground and as far back as possible to create high inertia. And we're doing that in combination with this asymmetric sole feature, right? So we're actually shaping the sole to conform with the golf swing and the downswing to create maximum aerodynamics through the impact zone. And so that's really what that shape and motion is all about. It's about breaking those trade-offs of putting great aerodynamics together with high MOI and low CG. So with that out of the way, let's move on to all the amazing new things that are in this SIM2 line of drivers. So the first thing you're going to notice is the construction is entirely different. And the way we've thought about this construction is unlike any other driver we've ever made before. So let's take a look at some of the details here. You'll notice this blue ring at the back, obviously very, very different looking, but it's a key to really unlocking what's different about the construction in this club. In this driver, the only part of this driver that's titanium is the face. Typically you'd see a titanium sole or a titanium back or even a titanium crown on a lot of drivers. This one literally just has a face. Now within this face you'll notice some familiar technologies that are coming back in 2021. First of all, you'll notice a twist face logo right here. This still has that breakthrough twist face technology that corrects on mishits low heel to high toe and really to combat those tendencies that golfers have as players. And so that's staying in the line, and it's the same geometry really as we've had before. Now, as you look at the toe here, you'll also notice another familiar technology, but now in a new location, and that is the speed injection technology. The ports used to be here in the face and the heel and the toe. This has now moved to the toe here. And the reason is we currently have a single location here in the toe, and that's really different in terms of how we're injecting and how we're managing the efficiency of the face. And you may ask, why do we only have one injection port? Well, the reason is we've actually machined the back of the face. When you see that cutaway of this club and you see the inside of the club, you'll notice that the inside of that face is machined out. And that's really to control those thicknesses very precisely to create that CT spike in a very, very specific location to ensure that we can get maximum speed out of the face and create that speed injection technology with just one port in the toe. So that's simplified. Now, looking at the sole here, you'll also notice another familiar technology in the speed pocket. The speed pocket is a through slot like we've had in the last couple of drivers. Again, that's a technology that's there to create a bigger sweet spot, but also protect that ball speed on miss hits, especially low in the face. And so that speed pocket technology is extremely important for that. Now, when you look at the rest of the head, now you're going to see a lot of carbon, right? So if you look at the top of the club, we have that massive carbon crown. It's covered as much real estate as possible on the top of the club, and we really want to make sure that we're saving as much weight as we can so we can use that extra weight to position it in more beneficial areas of the club. So that's the same thing goes for the sole panel. Sole panels traditionally are titanium or metal. Now we're creating this large carbon panel, and that carbon panel is going to save additional mass that, again, we can use strategically both here in the back and a little bit in the front as well to create maximum MOI. And again, MOI, as you know, translates to more forgiveness. So that's a really, really important aspect of this. What this all does for us is it essentially creates an ability for us to create more MOI in the club, more forgiveness, more MOI, through having more weight in the back of the club. And so you'll see these weights at the back here be much heavier than previous generation TaylorMade products in this driver category. So really, that is really the fundamental recipe of that carbon in the crown and the sole. And that brings me to my final piece of this puzzle, and that's this aluminum ring at the back. We talked about the carbon crown and the sole. For weight savings, this saves additional weight. This is made out of a high-grade 775 aluminum that really is, first of all, serves as impact resistant material here on the side of the club, but most importantly saves weight, crucially, that we can then place in a better place in the club, both in the back low heel, sole here and as well as the front. Now this piece here is made through a really complicated process of forging. We forge it first, then we machine out the inside, then we also apply a beautiful anodized blue color to it again, so it really stands out there at retail, looks beautiful. But really this piece is what really is this whole construction is built upon to create that high speed combined with incredible MOI and forgiveness in the club. And so this is really, again, that linchpin in the technology that pulls it all together. So within those technologies that we just talked about on the new construction, there's also some subtle differences in the 3 different models that comprise the SIM2 driver family. Let me first introduce each one. The first one is the SIM2 driver. This one replaces the SIM driver currently in the lineup. We then have the SIM2 Max driver replacing the SIM Max, and then finally the SIM2 Max D product for those guys needing a little bit of draw bias. Now, the fundamental technologies, like I said, are very similar in each one, but they have some performance differences that are really important to note here. The SIM2 is going to be your lowest launching, lowest spinning option of these 3. Again, targeted really for that high spin golfer, potentially slightly better players, and we're doing that through having a little bit more of that weight split front to back, and you're going to see a little bit more of that weight up front here inside this area where the TPS weight is on the sole. With the SIM Max, as the name implies, it's our maximum forgiveness product. This has our highest inertia in the lineup. The inertia is up hugely from 2020 on all 3 models, and the SIM Max continues to be our most high inertia product, the SIM2 Max. And this one, you're going to notice that TPS weight is in a slightly different location, a little bit more to heelward, because we're housing a little bit less weight here and more weight at the back. And this weight at the back here is 24 versus the 16-gram weight on the SIM2. Now moving on to the SIM2 Max D. Now this is a really exciting product for us because we had a mission here to create a product that had that draw bias, and in fact we wanted to extend the amount of draw bias that we provided the golfers while also maintaining really good MOI and good inertia in this product. And so we did that by actually shifting this entire inertia generator more heelwards on this head specifically, so that we could keep a lot of weight back here while at the same time creating that draw bias that so many golfers need out there. And so this head's going to be so great for a lot of guys who struggle with the slice or just the right side of the golf course in general. The SIM2 Max D is going to perform incredibly well for that player. So in terms of spin rate for all these, you're going to see again similar differences that you saw in the 2020 SIM lineup. The SIM2 is going to be the lowest spinning, like I mentioned. There's going to be a 200 to 300 RPM increase in spin going to the Max, and a couple hundred RPMs more into the Max D, although that will depend on how much draw bias the player is experiencing, and these could actually net out pretty similar in terms of spin depending on that result. So the 3 models, all 460cc, all featuring that incredible construction with the forged aluminum ring at the back, but really at a target here to figure out how to get into different players' bag depending on how you play and what kind of performance you're looking for.